thank you for having us, Hermitage. We appreciate it a lot, and thank you for the audience for listening in. And like Hermitage said, our topic is about streamline identities, access, and authentication for secure digital workplace. So that's the main topic of it, but I will be talking about it a little bit in between and around this area as well. Actually, I want to start with a question, or the question that Frederick answered at Yubico, the question about the national ID card. Because we are one of the partners with Yubico, which can help you with this question as well. I find it a very interesting and good question. The question was, can we use YubiKeys to replace national ID cards for example, signing documents and PIN 1, PIN 2? That basically means that you have a certificate on your national ID card, and you want to use that same functionality on a YubiKey. And this is something Pointsharp can help you with. So you need some middleware that can do, for example, use your certificate to do a sign of documents, and that's something we do deliver. So if that's something that's interesting for you, please contact us. But yeah, I just wanted to answer that question because it is a very relevant question for us as well, and I find it a good question to deep dive a little bit in. But back to the topic at hand. Pointsharp. Before I jump into exactly what Pointsharp does and what we can help you with, I can do a short introduction of who's sitting in front of you today. Who is this person talking about ID, national cards, and YubiKeys and how to manage them? My name is Lucas Bart. I am a solutions engineer here at Pointsharp. I've been working here for exactly 7 years now, I think. And I have a technical background. I've been working with software testing. I've been a product specialist for certificate-based authentication into VDI solutions. But today, the last 2 years, I've been a solutions engineer. And that basically means that I'm in between the technical and the commercial side of our solutions. And if you want to have a conversation with me, if you have any questions, if you disagree with me during my presentation, please contact me. You have my email address there. There's a QR code as well to my LinkedIn profile, so we can connect and have a conversation. I would love that. So that's enough of me. Now, Pointsharp, who are we? What's the plan? What will I be talking about? So the agenda is that I've put up today is a short introduction of Pointsharp, just to give you an understanding of what Pointsharp does, which solution area we work with, what we can help you with, where we come from, and so on. A very short introduction. And then I'm going to deep dive a little bit in the solution area Pointsharp are experts in. We are experts in the IAM solution area, so identity and access management. After that, I will talk a little bit of use cases, because what's the better way of showing you what we can do other than having a real life use case, exactly to show you exactly what we have solved with other customers in the Baltics. So showing you the trends, or what we see is taking traction in the Baltic area. I've also some demos. I've maybe been a little bit ambitious, so we'll see if I have time for those demos as well. I have half an hour, so if I don't have time for the demos, I'll skip through them. But again, if you are interested to see them, don't hesitate to contact me or anyone at Pointsharp. And lastly, I will do a wrap up just to go through what I've been presented and round it up a little bit. So let's just jump straight into it. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee first. There we go. So Pointsharp, founded in 2006. We have our headquarters in Stockholm, Sweden. It's where I'm currently located. We are a European cybersecurity company. We do have offices around Europe. Europe is our market. That's our primary marketplace, which we focus on. But yeah, headquarters in Stockholm. Everything is developed within Europe, and what we deliver and what we develop is software, and we can deliver it as a SaaS as well. So that's a very short introduction of our history. What our focus area is like I said, IAM, Identity and Access Management. What that is yeah, it says in the name, managing identities in your organization and managing access to your accounts or to your identities. So making sure that the right person has the right access to your infrastructure. This is something we have noticed at Pointsharp is a constant battle or a balance, I would say, between security and the user experience, because you don't want to decrease one more than the other, but we are flexible with this. So here at Pointsharp, we have a mindset of balancing or adapt your requirements after if you prioritize security or you prioritize user experience or something exactly in between, because you can have a very secure access management solution that makes it very complex to log in, but who will use that? And you can have a very simple access management solutions like logging in by just sitting at your desk and you're logged in. That's great, but maybe not that secure. So it is a constant balance in between, and why this is important today is because everyone has a complex IT architecture or infrastructure, and why I say this is because of the discussions of having an infrastructure that is maybe on the cloud or on premise or something in between, and this is where I come to this slide, which is these two are often compared. However, you maybe don't have to choose one over the other. You can have a hybrid infrastructure as well. However, with a hybrid infrastructure, there is some complexity to it. There's a constant question of if the cloud services go down, what do we do then? Where is my identity stored? Are my identities on premise or cloud? And how do I solve this? So this is something Pointsharp has kept in mind. Our mindset is to support the hybrid way of having your IT environment. And just to prove that what I'm saying is not something I have grabbed in the air and just said, this is how it is. I did my own research, actually. I had some seminars in the Baltics last year where I asked the audience. The audience were a lot of IT architectural people from big and small organizations. And I asked them, what kind of infrastructure do you have? Is it a cloud infrastructure? Is it on-prem or is it something in between? So the result was quite clearly, as you can see, over 50% have a hybrid environment today with an on-premise focus, which is the modern way, I would say, of having your organization's infrastructure. Then, of course, there are some that has a on-prem focus and a cloud focus, and it all depends on what kind of organization you are. And of course, we work with that as well. If you have an only on-prem infrastructure, that's no problem at all. We can still work with delivering a IAM solution to you as well. Something that is also interesting to know and have to see or keep in clear of mind of is 42% of companies are reconsidering a partial or complete return to on-premise applications or on-premise infrastructure, I should say. There is some worries then that you will maybe lose some modern features when it comes to, for example, MFA logins. And this is something we at Pointsharp can help you with, so you don't lose those functionalities, because those modern login methods like FIDO2 into cloud apps, we can also help you receive and have those login methods on on-premise applications as well. So just to do a quick comparison between traditional versus modern access management, I want to show you this slide, which is a little bit of an overview of traditionally how you access on-premise applications. That's oftentimes with a VPN or some other on-premises access solutions. And then if the user wants to connect to a cloud app, you probably have a identity provider in between. And then lastly, you maybe need to manually manage user accounts to cloud apps, but also legacy apps. This also brings some shadow IT as well in this whole world of traditional access management, where you maybe don't have full overview of which user has access to what and so on. I've actually also experienced some customers just using an Excel sheet to keep track of all of their users and accounts and where they have access to. And this is something we try to help you with at Pointsharp. We call it Pointsharp Access Management. So we just try to simplify for the users to access your environment. The user doesn't have to think about if the application is on-prem or in the cloud. The user doesn't have to think about if it's a legacy apps and then have to think about, oh, should I use my FIDO2 key or should I use my one-time password or something else? We streamline this login process just with one login method. So the user has a simple way of working. And this goes hand in hand with simplifying the life of admins as well. So they can manage everything, every access point, every identity in a centralized management tool. So to give you a little bit of an insight, so that was access management, and that will be my focus area today, talking about access management, but we do have an identity management tool as well to lifecycle your users. So what that product is all about onboarding your employees. So from the first day, what kind of employee it is, what kind of role they have, what kind of access they should have been given. And then during their employment, it can happen a lot. They can get a new position or get a promotion. You can have consultants working there for just a month. How do you manage all of that? So this is something we can help you with. We can automate a lot of these processes just to make your life a little bit easier. And lastly, with lifecycle management, you also have to have an offboarding process. So revoking this user the day they leave the company or the organization. To be able to achieve this, so the whole infrastructure understands which user has access to what, we do have a product we call it Identity Sync, so to synchronize all your users. What that basically means is you can, for example, have your HR system as a single source of truth for all of your identities and accounts. So if something happens in your HR system, you change the role, for example, of an employee, the rest of the infrastructure will understand what's going on and what's happening to that user. This we can then synchronize with, if you have an Active Directory, we can synchronize it with Entra ID. We can synchronize it between Entra ID and Active Directory so they have the same information. So the next step will then be able to give that information to applications. So applications will know this identity has this kinds of access points, and if they should be able to access those applications or not. But there's no limit to this. With the Identity Sync, you can synchronize with digital channels and many more cool applications or systems. So everything in your organization or in your infrastructure speaks the same language. They know what's happening to a specific identity or user account. So what this brings, the solution adds what Pointsharp then delivers in these products are automate and centralize. We try to automate as much as possible. We try to centralize the management of it as much as possible. This then goes hand in hand to mitigate the human risk factors. We are people, we are fantastic in our own ways, but we do make mistakes. That's just the human factor of everything. And to mitigate human risk factors, we can, one of the ways of doing it is also then unify a user experience. So the user experience is very simple and comfortable to work with, and this then helps with compliance. So if you have a compliance, for example, that you want to reach NIS2 compliance or Cyber Resilience Act or GDPR, so all of the compliance we can help you with our solutions, with identity management and access management. And lastly, very clear, or that should be mentioned, we add security. Of course, that's the main purpose of these solutions. So what this gives is creating a secure digital IAM workplace. So trusting your identities in your organization, giving those identities access to your applications. When they access the applications, they have to have a secure authentication, some kind of MFA in front, which will help you stay compliant. That's the whole reason why the Pointsharp IAM solution portfolio exists. So these are the specific names of our products. So if any of these are interesting to you and you want to have a meeting with us to talk a little bit in depth about this, you can just mention which one interests you. So the two first ones are identity management solutions. The first one is identity management for your Microsoft ecosystem, for example. The second one is if you want to manage your identities in a SAP environment. The third, access management and PKI management, is kind of the same area, but it helps you to deliver a management tool to manage all your passwordless authentications methods and giving you those MFA alternatives to the users. And last, we have secure information exchange, which is basically sending secure files over to outside or inside your organization. But how can I better explain this than use cases? So I brought some use cases with me, 3 of them to be specific. The first one is flexible and unified access. The second one is deploying and managing passwordless. So how do you manage when you maybe have bought YubiKeys from Yubico and you want to deploy them throughout your whole organization, and you have employees working from home or at the office or on a work trip in another country? How do I manage it? So that I'm going to talk a little bit in depth in that as well. And lastly, secure email. But first off, flexible and unified access, what does that mean? Well, what we try to give you the possibility to have is all kinds of logins to help you have a MFA login to whatever system or application you want to have. That can be all from PC logon to Fin clients, cloud and on-premise apps, VDI logins, which yeah, that's my background, and many more different kinds of locations you want to log into. And it's all unified, so the login experience is the same no matter what you try to log into. And then the purpose of it is all kinds of methods. I'll deep dive a little bit more in these methods as well, but that can all be from a phone app, where you do a authentication with a push notification, certificate, passkeys, biometrics, whatever. So the purpose is having whatever MFA method you want to have a single identity accessing whatever application or system, no matter if it's in the cloud or on-prem. One way of simplifying this as well, we call it the app portal. It's a store where you can gather all your applications you have, where the users then just have to go to one website or one store to a single MFA login, and then they get single sign-on to all of their applications. So this can also be a personalized view. So the different kinds of people or employees have different kinds of views or different kinds of applications they can see. So the whole purpose of it is having a phishing-resistant MFA and avoiding some kinds of password fatigue or having better user experience and increasing the security aspects of it. And we all know that there are hidden costs with passwords, for example. So you can the whole purpose of this is delivering a passwordless authentication that can be a device based authentication like hardware tokens, smart cards, security keys, or a token-based authentication that is on the mobile phone, or a TOTPs from applications. And lastly, passkeys, of course. So then we have also the second use case, deploying and managing passwordless. What that means is I want to bring you this diagram first. I love this diagram. It gives you a range of level of trust of different kinds of MFA or authentication methods, I should say, on a scale from very low to very high. And there are a lot. This is nothing Pointsharp has said this is the rule of thumb. This is information from Gartner, how they have defined every authentication method to low security to high security. And as you can see, the very high ones are FIDO2 with a security key, or X509 hardware tokens, which basically is certificates on a smart card or on a YubiKey with the PIV slot. But we also have to be realistic. Not everyone can have or should utilize the very high ones as well. There's always some reasons to maybe go a step lower. For example, I recently talked with a customer that has employees in the field doing a lot of physical work. They can't use a mobile phone to log in. So instead they use a OTP tokens. So they have a little bit of a authenticator where they get a one-time password, and with that they can log into the systems. The rare occasions when they need to log into some kinds of application, they can use that one because a mobile phone will, it's kind of vulnerable to have when you're in the field. And to give you some visuals on what I'm talking about, the primary MFA methods out there is the mobile app, of course, the certificates on a card, FIDO2 or passkeys is a common word that is used today, or a one-time password, which I just mentioned, like a token. So again, we let the organization tell us what kind of MFA they want to use, and we adapt to it. And with this, there's a lot of common questions of how do we start this journey of using it, all from enrolling users to revoking users. How does that happen? Maybe see reports of which user is using which kind of keys into which applications. Maybe also grant temporary access if the user have lost their keys. All of these questions is something Pointsharp can help you with. So if any of these interest you or you want to talk a little bit more of, please don't hesitate to contact us. We will happily take a meeting with you. So Pointsharp's token management solution. So to be able to manage all of your passwordless login methods, we have a token management tool where, for example, can register on behalf. So an IT admin can register a YubiKey on behalf of another user. We can also do self-service. So the end user will receive a notification where they will just go to the self-service portal. They plug in their YubiKey, and they get it enrolled. So after that enrollment, they can just use that YubiKey to whatever system they want to. That can be in the Entra applications or on-premise applications. Going a little bit faster. We can also help with enterprise control of allowed tokens and validity time, so you can get a control of which tokens are allowed to be used in your organization. And how long those tokens should be valid for, because maybe it's a consultant just working for a month. then it should be only allowed to be able to be used during that month, and after that, automatically revoked, which gives you centralized policies for cloud and on-premises, and a centralized tool for your passwordless world, so to say. So we do have a Pointsharp lifecycle management for YubiKeys. So everything from a handover to have a user enrollment, to have a passwordless single sign-on, to let the users do some self-service as well. Maybe they want to add another kinds of MFA method to that user. And then we can also do some revocation, so automatically remove those passwordless authentications to that user. So the whole ecosystem of it. I see I'm running out of time, so I have a demo here, but I will skip that one. Or actually, I have 2 demos. So well, I was very ambitious when I said I will do some demos. The last use case, secure email. So it's all the whole purpose of this is if you have Exchange on premise, you are limited to what kind of MFA method you can use. This is something we can help you with our solution that gives you an MFA login or process, so to say, with reoccurring authentication. So if you want to access your emails on your phone and you want to make sure that the right user is using that phone, not someone else's, we do a reoccurring authentication. That's completely up to you how often that should happen. It can be a couple of days, it can be a couple of weeks or months, but that's just regularly just control who is behind the device so they can authenticate themselves and continue on working. And if they don't, we can revoke the access to that email directly. And this gives you also a fine-grained content controls and device controls. So we can see if the device is up to date, if it's a part of the organization or not, and geolocation we can also work with, so to make sure that they're in the country when they try to access their emails. So just to give you a visual of this reoccurring authentication, you do an enrollment of the email to that phone. It can be Outlook or ActiveSync, and you have a timer on you to do a re-authentication. If you don't, it gets the synchronization gets lost, and then you have to do a re-authentication. So you use your MFA method, and the sync continues, and the user can continue working. And lastly, secure information exchange is the last thing I want to mention. It is a way of sending big files, large files, in a secure manner. So we have a file server in the middle, which will keep it secure. And when the recipient receives a notification of the sender, they can access or download that file. But that basically means that when you send the file, it will be encrypted as well. When the file is in the server at rest, then it's also encrypted. So it's a very secure way of sending files. And it gives you a control of every file that's being sent out of your organization, but also internally to see which file is sent where, to keep you compliant as well. So wrapping up, I have 2 minutes left. The use cases I've been talking about is a flexible and unified access, deploying and managing passwordless and secure emails. So if anything of this interests you, you want to talk more about, please contact us. I'm happy to have that discussion with you. I also want to take this opportunity to mention expert talks Pointsharp will be having next month, because I've been focusing on access management today, but then we will talk about identity management. So if that's something that interests you, please join that webinar or expert talks as well. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Lucas. So yeah, we have maybe very shortly to address one question, because then we'll need to jump to another session. I think it's an interesting question. What are usual pain points you see from organizations across the region when they set on path to implement identity management? I mean, what they're really struggling with?
The struggles I see is one of the things I mentioned before. It is oftentimes that you have, when it comes to identity management, you often have user accounts both in, for example, in Entra ID. you probably have some user storage on the AD as well on premises, and to have them talking the same language or having the same information, I should say, is a very good, very important aspect of it, because otherwise it will always be an imbalance, and you don't know which information is correct and which is wrong, because then you have two user accounts for one identity. So that's something we can help you with the product I mentioned, which was Identity Sync.
Okay, understood. Okay, thank you, Lucas, for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Now it's clear what Pointsharp does, and have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.